Welcome back. The House Homeland Security Committee releasing text for its budget reconciliation recommendations, hoping for $46 billion for border wall and more than $5 billion additional for border agents. Joining me now is the chairman of the committee, Tennessee Congressman and House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mark Green, back with us. Mr. Chairman, welcome. Good to see you.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks for having me on.
You've been emphasizing the need to sustain President Trump's border enforcement by keeping that wall funded. Tell us how that money gets allocated.
Well, there's a breakdown between the physical wall, the people, and the technology. And what we're really doing is all of it. We're adding people. We're giving them bonuses for retention. We're spending a ton of money on the actual physical wall, but it's not just a wall. There's technology, there's sensors, there's cameras all along that wall. This is a very elaborate. In fact, Maria, to be completely honest, the Congress for decades has tried to codify border security, a secure southwest border, and we are going to start that process today, passing this reconciliation bill out of Homeland Security Committee.
Well, I mean, it's just been extraordinary, the focus that President Trump and you and your colleagues have had on securing this nation. The president put the focus on illegal migration in his first 100 days. He signed 3 new executive orders just yesterday to crack down on sanctuary cities and boost state and local law enforcement. A massive display on the White House South Lawn yesterday showing the posters of the 100, quote, worst illegal immigrant criminals arrested in the first 100 days. Borders are Tom Homeland told Fox that Trump did what Biden could not do. Watch this.
Under the Biden administration, we average about 10, 11,000 a day, the high points. Some days at 15,000. You know what the number was yesterday? 178. Wow. 178 across 2,000 miles of border. President Trump, he's a game changer. What's happening on the border? He did in 7 weeks what Joe Biden couldn't or wouldn't do in 4 years.
And Congressman, the president the other day, I spoke with him on Sunday, told me that in the month of April, there were 3 people who were apprehended at the border compared to 250,000 a year ago in the month of April. How would you assess the secure border today?
Well, I think it's fantastic. And yes, it's absolutely secure. President Trump has done exactly what we needed to do. He's returning people. He's detaining people. That's the biggest disincentive for the mass waves of people coming into the country that occurred under the Biden administration. Look, they created the migration crisis themselves by their ridiculous policies. So, President Trump shut the door and they stopped coming.
Well, I also think it's worth noting President Trump knew exactly his customer in communist China. And, he ripped the Band-Aid off in terms of saying we cannot rely on China as a partner. We've got to get manufacturing in the United States so that we don't have to rely on China for prescription drugs. What do you want to say about China? I know you know this story so well, whether it's the people who've come from China through the border or the bad behavior like propaganda and surveillance from China on America.
Yeah, it's far worse than anyone can imagine. I mean, they have hacked our telephone system. They've hacked our infrastructure system. They have put 60 to 75,000 people into this country, military age. And with the BRICS countries, they're now waging a war on the U.S. dollar. So this is a campaign by China to unseat the United States as the global hegemon. And there is no doubting it at this point. And what they're doing with the dollar is especially concerning. And I think the reciprocal tariffs are as much about their unfair tariffs and economic practices as it is their attack on the dollar.
Well, look, and you've said it before. How many Chinese nationals have come through the border, would you say? In the last
it's over 100,000, but it was in 1 year just about 60,000.
Wow, 100,000, 60,000 just 1 year. Now, the Democrats see it completely differently. Michigan Congressman Sri Zanadar marked 100 days by introducing 7 articles of impeachment. What do you want to say about that? Because if you all do not fix and get this agenda completed with the tax extensions, we will see the impeachment trials resume again, right?
Look, we have to win the majority in 2 years. There's no doubt about that, because these people, the Trump derangement syndrome is off the rails. And the problem with the Democrats right now is their basically their policy, their agenda is to street criminals, violent criminals, to defund ICE and law enforcement, make friends with Iran and punch Saudi Arabia in the face. I mean, they don't know a good person from a bad person, and they haven't for decades. So I think the more they get loud on this, the more they double down on their anti-Doge rhetoric and all that, it just shows the American people who they really are. Going down to El Salvador and triumphing a criminal, a guy who in my state was caught allegedly trafficking young girls and was forced released by the Biden administration. Yeah. I mean, that's their hero. That's their hero. So I'm fine with them doing all they want to do to double down on this, and we'll have no problem in 2 years.